On May 8th, the government of the Virgin Islands broke ground for the start of the cruise pier expansion project. Since then, the site has been bustling with activity. On this series of programs, we will discuss the recent and ongoing developments on the project and learn how you can get ready to become a shareholder in one of the government's biggest investments, the BVI Cruise Pier. By the BVI, for the BVI.
Time to be an ambassador for the BVI.
I'm your host, Information Officer Nadia James Harris. Joining me on this program is Managing Director of the BVI Ports Authority, Mr. Claude Skelton-Klein, and General Counsel with the BVI Ports Authority, Ms. Vereen Vanderpool. Ms. Vanderpool, Mr. Klein, welcome to our program.
Thank you for having us.
Good to be here.
We're hearing and seeing that work for the cruise pier expansion project has begun. It has begun. What does the project entail so far?
Well, this is for us a game-changing project for tourism in the territory, and specifically cruise tourism. It entails the lengthening, widening, and strengthening of the existing pier, and that is designed to accommodate all of the new class of ships that are coming on stream through Disney, which is called Magical Cruise Lines, Norwegian Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, and of course Carnival. As you're well aware, we have two berthing agreements with, which is two of only 4 major cruise lines in the industry, and that is with NCL and DCL respectively. And so it's designed to take the BVI into the future so that, as you know, with all of our resources, the one that cannot be exported or outsourced is our tourism product. So the BVIPA, the British Virgin Islands Ports Authority, through our government, is simply doing what it has to do in order to maintain its share of the cruise tourism in the industry. So that's the pier. On the land side, it's a approximately 5-acre development site that will be a multi-purpose use property of retail, commercial, entertainment, green space area. So it's being developed as what will be a marquee destination in the region, so that we can get our fair share of the pie and grow our tourism industry.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. What you've just described is a very visionary approach to tourism and to the cruise tourism industry. Where are we now? What's the latest update on the project since the signing of those berthing agreements?
Yeah, well, we signed on April 22nd, so we are at the end stage of completing the design work on the pier proper. We have issued the land side, the first contract for what is called the substructure works that has to do with the piling and laying of the electrical and all of the civil works. So currently there's been some rock piling. You've seen the fencing, all of the pre-development features is what you will see now. And so we are hoping, based upon our schedule, visually persons in the territory will be able to see cranes and other machineries by mid-August. One of the key components are the piling, both on the marine and on the land side, and given the fact from the distance of which they come, and that no company store these kinds of piles, we are simply waiting, and once they arrive, as they're scheduled to be mid-August, you will see all of the works in full effect. So of course we are excited about that, and I'm sure that the people are on tiptoe anticipation, waiting to see on the contract that's been signed a couple months ago.
And you've been giving a lot of dates. So that brings me to the question of timelines. What are some of your timelines for the project? Landmark achievements. We had the groundbreaking a few months ago, and now we have the stockpiling. Tell us more about your timeline for this project.
Well, we start with the end in mind. April 29, 2015, everything is supposed to be complete in what they call contractually substantial completion. And what that means is that both NCL and DCL will be able to park their ships at the same time at the cruise ship pier. So April 29th is one of the latest or last benchmark dates. From that, as early as January 5th, some of the buildings what we call 1 through 4, is either completed or under construction. DCL, Disney Cruise Lines, is scheduled to be in port at that time. And then so moving back from there, all of the works we ought to be finished with this entire project come summer of next year. So by this time, as we're sitting here on, what is today, July 7th, by this time next year, we ought to be completed, the project ought to be completed by then.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Ms. Vanderpool, we have a lot of work going on. There's a lot of money that we are looking at. What is the estimated project cost? We've dealt with contracts, stockpiling, we have a timeline that we're looking at. Can you tell us about the estimated cost for the project?
The marine contract was signed for approximately just over 30 million. And the completed landside we anticipate would be in the area of 20.
About 20 million.
20 million, thereabout. So in total, that's what, just over 50 million?
Just over 50 million.
Completed project costs.
And how do you expect the project at this stage to benefit the community? Because we hear a lot of talk about stimulating the economy and the fact that the cruise pier expansion project will have an impact on the community because our local businesses are expected to have a large say in helping to execute the work.
All right, in terms of some of the spin-offs, listen, again, you have what is going to be a marquee destination. And you're going to have, in the first instance, an opportunity for entrepreneurial and employment scenarios amongst BVI landers and other persons. They will have a chance, in the first time in the history of the BVI, to participate in a meaningful way in the growth of their own territory. So right now we are have put out a release where we are been receiving applications for persons who would like to lease space on the landside development. So whatever new business or existing business startups, this is an opportunity for person to expand their businesses at this particular port. Secondly, on the marine side, all of your taxi service men and women has an opportunity to expand their businesses, not only landside taxi service, but waterside taxi. Because as you know, if you have 2 of these ships in port, that's 8,000 persons. And we have to be able to move those persons both on the land side as well as on the marine, what we call the marine highway. So we have a tremendous opportunity for locals to become entrepreneurs, and those who are existing on what do you call them, business owners can expand on their businesses. Secondly, there's an opportunity for what the ships are calling the beach break opportunities. All of our outer islands, our sister islands, they will also benefit from this development because the passenger has to go somewhere. They all can't come on the land. Some needs to go to Virgin Gorda, some needs to go to Sandy Key, et cetera, just to name some of the opportunities that's out there. So that also provides an opportunity for persons who are looking to expand or get a new business started to provide a service on those what they call beach break opportunities. And then you have an opportunity to build up the infrastructure of Road Town to expand into Main Street. You have an opportunity to build around your existing historic historic sites and all of the concessions that can come around those sites. You have an opportunity to develop the lookout points, and all of the landowners, the private developers who own some of those properties have an opportunity to set up shop. And again, as the guest takes their tours, they stop at these little hot spots. It features the territory, all of the little niceties of whether it's pastries or baking goods or whatever it is, liqueur, that is indigenous to the BVI. Our people will have a wonderful opportunity, again, to enter into an industry that they have otherwise, to some degree, been locked out or left out on, to now take full advantage. So we want to encourage rather our persons, our locals rather, to really take advantage of all of the opportunities that's coming as a result of this development. So that's just a snapshot. I hope I haven't gone through it too quickly as to what can and should and is going to happen as a result of the cruise ship pier and landside development.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. We have touched the tip of the iceberg as it relates to the cruise pier expansion project, and I want to thank both you and Ms. Vanderpool for coming on this program. On the next BVI Get Ready to Invest, we hear more from the BVI Ports Authority and placement agent, Mr. Clarence Faulkner Jr., about special purpose vehicles and the benefits of becoming an investor in the BVI cruise pier.
So here's an opportunity where I think it's a win-win situation for citizens, where they can not only participate by renting or leasing property over at the Pier Park, but they also can participate in terms of the financing mechanism that rewards them with a dividend annually for the tenure that they so approve.
It's time to make a lasting impression.